Hi everybody, welcome back. So at the end of 2022 I put up my end of year makeup inventory. So this is going to be my 2023 makeup inventory intro. So in terms of the products within my makeup inventory, it's not wildly different to that video, but what is different is that I've set myself at different goals as to how I want my makeup collection to look at the end of the year. So I'm going to do a similar thing as to what I did in that video. I'm going to talk through every single category of my makeup, the products involved in each, how many numbers of those categories I've got at the moment, and then what I want that goal to be at the end of the year as well. I'm not going to include any videos or pictures of my makeup because I did that in that video. So if you want to see my exact items, go and check out my 2022 end of year makeup inventory collection. So just for today, I'm going to be just talking through the products and the numbers and my goals. So I like to do this starting from the base products, and I basically just follow the order in which I would usually apply makeup. So if we start with base products then and primer, I currently only have one primer. It is the NYX, is that it there? That little yellow thing? Yeah, that yellow thing there is my primer. That is my NYX Plump Right Back primer, so I only have one. I've got a goal of having three so I can give myself some variety. I can maybe get the Bobbi Brown face base again if I can find it on a really good deal. So I have room to move with that category. Next is foundation, and I have 4 foundations. I've got 3 liquid ones and 1 powder. I have the powder one on today, which is the Bare Minerals Original Loose Mineral Powder Foundation, something along those lines. That one's in my Shop My Stash, and then I've got the Yves Saint Laurent Touche Eclat foundation in my project pan. And I've set myself a goal of having 4. I think I did have a goal of 5 last year, but I feel like 4 is fine. I don't really want to be adding any more foundations into my collection. I feel like having 4 foundations is enough. It means that I'm using them regularly enough. They're not going off as well because I've got loads of them. So I'm happy with this one staying at 4, so I'm at my goal. Similar thing there with concealer as well. I've set myself a goal of 3 and I do currently have 3, and I'm going to rotate my concealers along with my foundations in my project pan. So I've currently got the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in my project pan. It's what I've got on today. And then next month I'll roll in either the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer or the Vive concealer as well. So I think 3 concealers are fine, especially because I was panning 2 concealers last year and it takes blooming ages to make any progress on a concealer. So again, like with foundations, I don't want loads of concealers and then they get sat there not being used and then they then start to go off. So goal of 3 and I've got 3. Colour corrector, goal of 1 and I've got 1. I've got the Bobbi Brown stick corrector. I've got that on today and I think I actually prefer it to the pot. A lot quicker and a lot easier to apply and provides a similar amount of coverage. And I don't feel the need to have more than 1 colour corrector, so that one again is fine. I'm on target with that one. Similar thing with powders. I have a goal of 3 and I've got 3. So I've got the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Setting Powder. That's what I usually use to set my concealer underneath my eyes. I've got the Vive powder as well. That one is really good at like spot correction, so I do have a spot going on there, and that one is really good at toning down the redness. And then I've also got the Fenty Invisimatte Blotting Powder, which is the one I use sort of like when I'm out and about if I need little touch-ups on my T-zone or something. So again, powders are fine. I don't need to be adding any more powders into my collection, so I'm at my goal for that. Similar thing as well with bronzers. I have a goal of 2 and I've got 2 bronzers. However, I set myself a goal of 2 so I can have 1 cream and 1 powder. I currently have 2 powder bronzers. I've got the Fenty Shady Biz bronzer in my not Shop My Stash, in my project pan. I'm trying to pan that one. And then I've got the Vive bronzing duo, and I prefer the Vive one, so that's why the Fenty one is in my project pan, but also because it's a little bit old now as well. So once I've used up the Fenty one, or maybe even before that actually, I will get myself a cream bronzer because I can then layer them up. I like the fact that a cream bronzer just makes your cheeks look really juicy. So I'm at target for that one, but I want to not have 2 powder ones and have a cream and a powder. Blushes next, and this one I've changed my goal. My goal last year I'm pretty sure was 6 blushes, and I have 6 blushes in my collection, but I'm pretty sure 2 of them aren't in my colours. So I've recently put up a colour season analysis video which revealed I am an autumn. I've got some autumn makeup going on today and some autumn clothes as well, and I've got 2 blushes that are quite pink and they probably suit summers and winters more because they're better suited to cooler skin tones. So that includes Vive Sorbet, and also my new one, my Stila Lilium blusher, but I do actually really like that one. So I have 6 blushes and I've set myself a goal of 5 because I either want to declutter the Sorbet one at some point. That one is in my project pan, so I am trying to make that one work this month, see if it can work with makeup like this, or maybe if I tone down the warmth of the eyes, whether I can make that blusher work, I don't know, I'm still trialing it. And then use up the Stila one, because also the Stila one I think has a 6-month shelf life, so that one, because it's a cream blusher, I do want to get that one used up, and it's very, very pretty. So I'm at 6 and the goal is 5. For highlighters, I've got a goal of having 1. I do have 3 for either birthday or Christmas, I can't remember. Birthday and Christmas are really close for me, so I can sometimes get a bit muddled up as to what I got for Christmas and what I got for birthday. But anyway, I got the Vive Skin Dew, and that's really, really beautiful. That's a liquid cream highlight. Beautiful, even though I'm not really a highlighter fan. But I do also have the Rare Beauty Mini Liquid Luminizer and the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, both of which are in my project pan, so I am working on using both of those up. I don't like the colour of the Rare Beauty one, and I'm not that fussed about the Hollywood Flawless Filter, so hoping to be done with both of those at some point this year. I think I'll be done with the Charlotte Tilbury one slightly sooner than the Rare Beauty one. I think there are more ways in which I can use the Charlotte Tilbury one. I have as well actually mixed it in with the Rare Beauty blusher in the shade Joy today to create a bit of like a dewy blusher. Really like that tip, so that's another one that I'm going to continue to use. So I am over my goal of having 1. I'm at 3, but I'm working on using 2 of them up. Face palettes are fine, goal of 1, I've got 1 and it's a Vive one, so that one's not really going to change. I don't really see myself adding more face palettes into my collection. I've got enough highlighters, bronzers and blushes, so I don't really need to have any more. Face and eye palettes, I've got a goal of 2 and I've got 2, so I'm at my goal, and they're both the Laura Geller Face and Eye palettes, TGI Thursday and Sunday Funday. I am panning 2 eyeshadows from them in my pan in every eyeshadow palette. And also exciting, I hit pan in one of them today. It is only the 7th of Jan, so I'm really, really excited that I've hit pan already, so that's really good. Next is eyeshadow primers. I still have 2. I was panning the NYX eyeshadow base all of last year. It's still in my project pan and there isn't much product left in it. I know I say that every time I talk about it now, but it really does seem like it's coming to the end of its life. So hopefully that will be an empty in my next project pan update. So I will then hopefully reach my goal of 1. I don't need more than 1 eyeshadow primer. For me, it's not a product that I need to have multiple ones of. If I can find one that works, great. So over my goal for that one, but I'm panning it, so I am working on it. Next are glitter primers, goal of 1 and I've got 1. Again, I don't need more than 1 glitter primer. It's not a product I use that often, so not really worth it in my opinion to have more. Eyeshadow singles, I've set myself a goal of 12, slightly over that at 13. I do have a really good pan in Shroom by MAC. That was in my project pan all of last year. So at some point I am going to work on entirely using that up, but because I was panning it all of last year, I want a little bit of a break from it. So I'm not going to be working on panning that one anytime soon, but by the end of the year I do want to get that one used up. Next is eyeshadow duos. I've got the NARS Isolde, which is the one I've got on my lids today. I've got the left hand side shade of the duo, which is what I am working on hitting pan on. So happy with just having 1 eyeshadow duo. I don't really want to be having more eyeshadows in my collection. So I'm actually at the end of this video going to talk a little bit about my process towards makeup this year. So goal of 1 and I've got 1. So eyeshadow palettes, I've got a goal of 7 and I currently own 7. I don't need to be adding any more eyeshadows into my collection. I'm not a massive fan of wearing eyeshadow. I know I've got some on today, but if I didn't have a channel, I probably would go for the real bare minimum in terms of eyeshadow, so don't need to add more to my collection. Eyeshadow sticks, I have 3. I have 1 Kiko one and 2 Vive ones, and I've set myself a goal of just having 1. Now the Kiko one, annoyingly, is new and it's not really my shade. It's very cool toned. Warm complexion, I should be sticking with warm makeup. Yes, I can wear cool makeup if I want to, but I've really noticed the difference now. On days where I go for lots of pinks and purples, a cool tone makeup look, it just looks off. And then days like today when I go really warm, it looks so much better. So I do want to use up that Kiko one. And also with my Vive ones, they are out of date. So what I have done on my spreadsheet, I have listed the date in which I've opened a product and then how long you're meant to use the product for or keep the product for. So for example, with my eyeshadow sticks, I opened them back in January last year and they have a 12-month shelf life. And then my boyfriend very cleverly worked out a formula to work out the date on which you need to use them up and then how many days you've got left until the product goes off. So with these eyeshadow sticks, today actually I should have finished up Camel, and 6 days ago I should have used up Sand. So this is really useful to help me see what items are close to being used up, being expired, sorry, so I need to work on using them up. So those two I do want to start panning sometime soon. I love those eyeshadow sticks, I think they're brilliant, but I've had eyeshadow sticks before and once they hit their 12-month shelf life, the quality really does start to degrade. So I don't want these two products that I really love to start to go off, because then it's a waste of a product. So those two I will be working on panning sometime soon, but I might not be able to get through 3 eyeshadow sticks this year, so that's why I've set myself a goal of 1. Okay, eyeliners next. I have 5 in my collection. I've got a nude one, which is what I've got on my waterline today. I've got a teal, I've got a duo pink and purple from Charlotte Tilbury, I've got a brown, and I've got a moss green. And I've set myself a goal of 3, and that's because I don't really use pencil eyeliners that often. I don't have a lot of visible lid space, so I feel like when I use an eyeliner, it tends to just close my eyes up. So I've set myself a goal of 3 with the aim of using up the Charlotte Tilbury one, because that isn't also my kind of colours, and also the teal one from Peaches and Cream. Love it, beautiful shade, but it's just not one I reach for that often. So I think having a nude one is very handy, makes my eyes look a bit more awake, makes me look less tired. Having a brown one, standard brown eyeliner, my colour would go with a look like this. This is a brown liquid liner. And then also a green to match my eye colour is a good idea as well. So aim is to use up 2 eyeliners this year. Liquid eyeliners, I currently have 1 and I've got a goal of 1. It's the one I've got on today. It's my brown liquid liner. Just happy having just 1 of them. Don't feel the need to have more than 1. Mascaras, I've got a goal of 2. Now I suppose that's having 1 open and then 1 back up. So I don't really tend to have more than 1 mascara open at any one time, and that's just because I'm really strict with mascaras. If it's got a 3-month shelf life, after 3 months you're out of my collection. Same thing if it's a 6-month shelf life. So I like to focus on just 1 mascara and then move on to the next one. So that's why I've set myself a goal of 2. I do currently have 3. The one I've got on at the moment is the Clinique one, and that one should be used up by the 4th of February. So I have 28 days left to use it, and I will stick to that. Like I say, I'm strict with mascaras, so once it's been 6 months it'll be out of my collection. And actually it's quite difficult to get enough product out of that tube now. It doesn't really have much product left in it at all. So that means I'll be left with a mini MAC one, which I haven't opened. I've had that one for ages, but I just haven't opened it because it's black and I don't tend to wear black mascaras. And then I bought a backup mascara, a Maybelline one, for like £3 something off Amazon. So that means I'll be then down to 2. Eyebrows, I've set myself a goal of just having 1 eyebrow product. I don't really feel the need to have lots of eyebrow products. I currently have 3, 2 of which are in my project pan, which is the NYX Microbrow and the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. I've got both of them on today, and then I also have a brow pencil from Kiko. I think all 3 products are brilliant. The Kiko one is a new one. I've not tried that one before, but I really enjoy it. And the NYX Microbrow and the 24-Hour Brow Setter are both repeat purchases, so I really like all 3 products, but it's just my preference is to go for a tinted brow gel. I naturally have quite good eyebrows, so I don't feel the need to do a lot of drawing with a pencil. I find just a bit of a tinted brow gel just to provide a bit of separation, push them up a little bit, but give a little bit of tint, a little bit of colour is enough. So my aim is to use up all 3 of those products and then get a tinted brow gel. So 2 of them are in my project pan, so I am working on that one. Lip balm, got a goal of 2. I have 2 currently. That allows me to have 1 standard hydrating lip balm and then 1 that contains SPF, so that one I can use when I go out and about or if I was to go off on a hot holiday somewhere. So that one is fine. Lip liners, my goodness. I set myself a goal of having 5. I currently own 10. So I have doubled the amount that I've set myself for my goal. However, with lip liners, now that I know what my colour season is, I do have a couple of lip liners that are not in my season. So I'm going to work on using those up. They might appear in project pans, or they might be an unofficial project pan item. I do have a couple that I'm going to probably declutter as well. Now, I have 5 Vive lip liners, and I don't particularly like Vive lip liners. I think they're beautiful to apply because they're creamy, they don't tug on your lips, they're a pleasure to apply, but they just feel really sticky once they're on your lips. So I want to use up or declutter all 5 of them. Now, the shade Bark, I think is a little bit too dark. I think that's like a dark chocolate colour. Rumour, again, very dark, not my colour. So those 2 will probably be declutters. I might ask my boyfriend's sister if she wants them, because with lip liners you can just sharpen them and they'll be fine. So there shouldn't really be any hygiene concerns around lip liners. I will double check with her, obviously. If she says no, that's fine. Velvet Sands I can use up because that's a nude kind of colour, so that one won't really be a problem. But Bewitched and Stupid Cupid, so Stupid Cupid is in my Shop My Stash. It's a very cool tone pink, so that one again might be a declutter. I think that one will suit her a lot more than me because I think she's got a cool skin tone. And then Bewitched is the purple shade, which I do not like. So I will probably end up decluttering 4 of them, unfortunately, and then using up 1. So the lip liner category will at some point be drastically changed. I do have 4 NYX ones as well, one of which is very similar actually to Velvet Sands. The nude pink is a cool tone pink as well. That one is in my Shop My Stash, so I will try to kind of use that one up. I think that should be a fairly easy one to use up. And then the other 2 shades I don't think are as cool toned as nude pink. So lip liners I definitely need to work on. I'm fully aware that I need to cut this category in half, so I just need to try using them all and figure out whether I can make them work or whether they're better off being decluttered and passed on to someone else. Lipsticks now, I have 13 currently, and this is a category that has changed quite a bit since my end of year makeup inventory check-in video. So I've kind of said a few times that I've had my House of colour analysis appointment, and after that I went through all of my makeup and figured out what suits me and what doesn't. Now luckily the vast majority of my makeup suits me. There's very few items that aren't in my colours. So a couple of those lip liners that I mentioned, also a blush and maybe an eyeshadow palette as well, but the vast majority are in my colours. However, there were a lot of my lipsticks that were not in my colours and it did not suit me. So this is another category that I do want to change. So I will very likely end up decluttering 2 of my 4 Vive lipsticks in the shades Cherub's Kiss and Promise. Cherub's Kiss is in my Shop My Stash. I wore it the other day, really did not like it. I had to remove it, put on some lip balm and then put it back on again because the colour was just far too intense and far too cool toned, but also it felt really uncomfortable. It was very heavy and very drying, so I didn't really like that. And that actually, I can't remember what video it was, but I did say in that video I really don't like my makeup today, and a lot of you actually replied saying I think it looks really lovely, so thank you so much for that. That's really sweet. The shade Promise from Vive is purple, straight up purple on me, just does not work, so that will definitely be a declutter. Coming in Hot, this is one that's in my project pan, and I've said that I've tried to wear it as a bronzer. It doesn't quite work as a bronzer. I can make it work as a lipstick though, so that one I will keep. And Power Suit, I really like that colour, so that one can stay. I have an Estee Lauder one that I'm going to keep along with a MAC one, but there is another MAC lipstick that was in my project pan last year, the one by Nick Chapman. That one is very much a spring colour. It's a little bit too light and a little bit too bright for me, so I will probably declutter that one because I've tried to make it work. I've tried panning it for a couple of months last year, so I've really gotten my use out of it, but I just don't think I want to use that product anymore. And then the items that have changed, I have bought myself quite a few House of Colour lipsticks, obviously in my season. I have bought 6 of them. So I've got one in my 3 points of red. So I've got a warm red, I've got a rust, and I've got a coral. I also bought myself 3 nude shades as well. One of them is like a very warm rosewood colour. It's got a little bit of coral behind it as well, so I think that one will be lovely in the summer. But then yesterday my other order from House of Colour arrived. I've got 2 more nude shades. This is one of them. Really like this one. I've not tried the other one yet. I will probably try that one tomorrow. So I now have 6 House of Colour lipsticks, and that brings me up to a total of 13. I've set myself a goal of having 14 lipsticks, and I think I might at some point add in a couple of others from House of Colour, but that will also account for me decluttering some of the Vive ones as well. So I've given myself a little bit of wiggle room with this category. Okay, last 3 categories. Next is lip gloss. I currently have 3, and I've set myself a goal of having 2. So I want to use up one of these lip glosses that I own. They're all by Kiko, but I don't quite know which colour yet. I think I will probably start including these in project pans as well, get them kind of rotated into my project pan and used up. So I do want to be done with one of them by the end of the year. Next is a new category. This is liquid lipstick, and this is a House of Colour one that arrived yesterday. So I've set myself a goal of having 2, and that's because House of Colour have a few liquid lipsticks that they offer. But a liquid lipstick isn't my favourite formulation, so that's why I've only set myself a goal of having 2. So if I want to have another one into my collection, then I can do so. Now, I've not tried that liquid lipstick, so I can't really comment on the formulation or anything, but once I do, I will let you know. And then the last category is setting spray. This is the same as it was last year, a goal of just having 1. I don't really need multiple setting sprays, but I currently own 2. I don't often use setting spray. Don't even know where it is. Here it is, my setting spray there. I don't always use a setting spray, only really if I'm out for the whole day or if it's a special occasion. So this one won't be changing anytime soon. But they're both by Urban Decay. They're both the All Nighter setting spray. So currently I own a total of 96 makeup items, and if I was to reach my goal on every single category, that would mean that I would have 81 items, so a reduction of 15 pieces of makeup. So when I was setting my goals, it kind of became apparent that there's a lot of categories that I don't really want to see any change in. So what I have, I suppose, unintentionally maybe set myself a goal of for this year is to, I suppose, be on a low buy. So I don't really want to add in any more foundations, colour correctors, concealers, powders, blushes. Bronzer, I don't want the number to change, it's just that I want to use up one of the powders and have a cream one. I don't want any more highlighters, face palettes, eyeshadow palettes, eyeshadow sticks, eyeliners, setting sprays. So with the vast majority of my makeup, I don't want to be adding more into it. The only categories really where I'm interested in having different products in are lip liners and lipsticks. With things like foundations and concealers, the reasons why I don't really want to add any more into my collection is that I just want to use what I've got. I feel like my makeup collection has changed quite a bit last year. So where the year before it, in 2021, I think I was on a year-long no-buy, 2022 enabled me to have some more products into my collection, and I'm now really happy with how my collection looks. So I think at the moment I just want to use what I've got and start using up some more items. So I'm not saying I am technically on a low buy, so I'm not setting myself goals. I'm not saying I can only bring X number of products into my collection or I can only spend X pounds on makeup per month. But I guess if you were to label my approach to makeup this year, I suppose it would be a low buy. But like I say, if there are any like lip liners or lipsticks that are in my colour season that I want to add into my collection, because those were the categories that were really lacking, I didn't really like any of my lipsticks and a lot of my lip liner colours I didn't like either, then I can do so, I can add more into my collection. But with a lot of the base products, a lot of the eye products as well, those are going to be low buys, and actually I think with eyeshadows it's going to be a no buy. So I've got a new series on my channel which is a pan in every eyeshadow palette series. So with that I'm working on hitting pan in at least one shade in all of my eyeshadow palettes. So I am actually going to put myself on a no buy when it comes to eyeshadow sticks and any eyeshadows. because I think I'm just going to set myself up for failure if I'm working on panning some eyeshadows and then I'm adding more into my collection. It kind of defeats the purpose really. And where I'm not really a massive wearer of eyeshadow, I tend to keep things very kind of simple, very neutral. I feel like I don't need loads of eyeshadow, and also with the colours as well, I feel like I have all the colours that I need. So eyeshadows are going to be a no buy for this year, and then yeah, I guess the rest of my collection is going to be a low buy, but without real specific strict rules. So that is how my makeup collection is currently looking, and those are the goals that I've set myself for this year. So I will be doing another check-in at the start of April, and we'll see if and how my makeup collection has changed. Please let me know in the comments down below how your makeup inventory is looking, and if you've put yourself on any type of low buy or no buy this year. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you very soon for my next video.